All right, so you're prepping for an import-export manager interview, huh? Specifically in wood and construction materials. Sounds like you've got some sample questions and you've checked out RoleCatcher.
Smart move. Those are really going to come in handy.
We're going to unpack those questions today and give you some extra tips from RoleCatcher's Career Guide to help you absolutely ace that interview.
We won't just tell you what to say. We'll really dig into the why, what the interviewers are actually getting at with each question, and how to make a great impression.
By the way, RoleCatcher, it's such a fantastic resource. Over 3,000 career guides, 13,000 skill guides.
17,000 interview guides.
It's wild. And they have these really cool AI features to help tailor your CV and even give you feedback on your practice interviews.
Work smarter, not harder, right? The right tools can make all the difference.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in with those sample interview questions. That first one, it's a classic. What inspired you to pursue a career in import-export management? Might seem basic, but it's your chance to show them you're passionate.
You want to show them you're genuinely excited about this field, that this isn't just any job to you. RoleCatcher's Guide talks about how global this role is, working across borders, different regulations, cultures. What got you interested in international business to begin with?
Was it a trip you took? Or maybe family ties to the industry?
Or maybe you just love how complex global supply chains are.
I think a personal story here can be really powerful. It makes your answer more engaging, shows you've put thought into your career path.
Definitely. Just make sure you bring it back to the role itself in wood and construction materials.
Right, right. And be ready for a follow-up, something like, what aspects of global trade excite you the most?
Yeah, this is where you show you're not just passionate, but you actually know what's going on in the field.
So maybe you've been following the latest in sustainable forestry practices. Or maybe you're interested in the growing demand for wood in emerging markets. Share something specific that shows you've done your homework.
Shows you're already thinking about the big picture. That's what makes you stand out.
Okay, question number 2. What experience do you have in managing international shipping and logistics? Now we're getting into the real practical stuff.
Now they want proof you can handle the details right. RoleCatcher talks about logistics, customs regulations, documentation, all key for this job.
Think back to times you've successfully dealt with those things. Did you ever resolve a customs delay? Something that could really held up a shipment?
Yeah.
Or maybe you came up with a creative solution to a tricky shipping issue. Don't be afraid to brag a little. Quantify your achievements.
Show off your problem-solving skills.
And even if you haven't worked specifically in wood and construction materials before.
You can still draw on skills from other industries. Managed complex projects,
Right.
negotiated contracts, met tough deadlines. Relate those experiences to what they're looking for here.
Right. The skills are transferable. And speaking of challenges, be ready for that classic, tell me about a time a shipment went wrong, what did you do?
They want to hear how you handle pressure, how you think on your feet, take ownership. Pick a story that shows your resourcefulness, how you can find solutions even when things go sideways.
All right, number 3. This one gets at your communication skills. How do you negotiate pricing and terms with suppliers and customers?
You're the bridge between these two sides, right? And they may have very different priorities. So you got to be a skilled negotiator, find that sweet spot where everyone feels like they got a fair deal.
RoleCatcher actually lists negotiation as a core skill for this role. So think about times you've successfully negotiated, even outside of work. Ever haggle for a good price at a market? Convince your friends to try that new restaurant.
It doesn't have to be business related. Just highlight your approach. How do you find win-win solutions? Did you do research?
Build rapport to make things smoother. Those are the details that make your answer memorable.
And be ready for, have you ever had to walk away from a deal? Why? This is testing your judgment, making sure you understand the bottom line. Sometimes walking away is the right call, even if it's tough. Being able to explain why shows you're not just saying yes to everything, you're thinking strategically.
Okay, question number 4. This is a big one. How do you ensure compliance with import-export regulations and laws? Super important in this field, especially with wood and construction materials. So many regulations to keep track of.
CITES, permits for endangered wood, safety standards for building materials, all that.
Yeah, it's essential to stay updated. They're looking to see that you're diligent, that you're committed to doing things the right way.
Ethically and legally.
Exactly. RoleCatcher suggests looking into professional development from trade associations. They even mention certifications, like the Certified International Trade Professional, the CITP.
Shows you're serious about staying ahead of the curve.
Definitely. But go beyond just listing qualifications. Can you talk about a specific regulation that's relevant to wood and construction?
Like maybe you've been following developments with the Lacey Act, that one about preventing illegal logging.
Hmm.
Or maybe you're familiar with the EU timber regulation, the one about verifying the legality of wood sources. Share some concrete examples.
Shows you're actively engaged. And be ready for what's a recent change in import-export regulations that caught your attention. They want to see how you stay informed.
Do you subscribe to industry publications? Go to conferences?
Even following relevant people on social media. That can be valuable.
The key is to show you're proactive, always learning. Everyone's heard those horror stories about applicant tracking systems, right?
Oh, yeah. Those things can be brutal.
Like those digital gatekeepers that scan your CV, weeding people out before a human even sees it.
I know. So how does RoleCatcher's AI help with that?
Well, think of it as your secret weapon. It looks at the job description, the specific import-export manager role you're going for, and it figures out the keywords, the skills that really matter. And then it gives you suggestions on how to tweak your CV so it matches up perfectly. Highlights the stuff that'll really resonate both with the ATS and the hiring manager.
So it's like having your own personal CV consultant.
Exactly. And it gets even better. RoleCatcher's AI can also give you feedback on your practice interviews.
Oh, that's interesting. We talked about what to say, but I guess how you say it matters too, right?
Hugely. Confidence, your delivery, body language, it all plays a role.
Especially now that so many interviews are virtual. Got to make sure you come across well on camera.
Yeah, and that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in. It can analyze your practice videos and give you really specific feedback.
It's like having a coach, helping you polish your answers and how you present yourself.
Precisely. Like, it might point out you're using too many filler words, or that you need to look at the camera more. Or maybe you fidget when you're nervous.
Oh, I do that.
It can even look at what you're saying and suggest ways to make it more concise, more impactful.
Wow, that's amazing, especially for people who get nervous in interviews. This kind of feedback can be such a confidence booster.
Think of the AI as a mirror, but it's not just reflecting what you say, it's reflecting how you say it, helping you see your strengths and weaknesses so you can put your best foot forward.
So RoleCatcher's AI, definitely a huge asset in the job search. But of course, you still need to put in the work, prepare, and have that genuine passion.
Absolutely. These AI tools, they can give you a real edge, but they can't replace doing your research, knowing the industry, and crafting good answers that showcase your skills.
And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through. Show them why you're the perfect fit. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? Those tricky interview questions, insights from RoleCatcher, even how to use AI to your advantage.
It's amazing how much tech is changing the job search process these days.
Right. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something RoleCatcher really emphasizes, continuous learning. It's not just about keeping up with regulations.
It's about how you thrive in this whole career. It's like you're always learning, adapting to new things.
Yeah, new technologies, sustainability concerns, things happening globally, it all affects the wood and construction materials world.
Think of it like sailing a ship. You constantly got to adjust to the wind and currents.
And those certifications RoleCatcher mentioned, like the CITP, the CGBP, those are like upgrading your navigational tools.
Exactly. They show employers that you're not just settling. You're serious about growing professionally. But it's more than just certifications. What about conferences, online courses? Have any of those caught your eye?
Even finding good blogs or podcasts, right? All those things show you're eager to learn and stay ahead.
And if we zoom out a bit, it's all about adaptability. Right now, this industry is facing some unique challenges. Supply chain issues, sustainable sourcing, even 3D printing in construction.
Things are changing so fast.
And that's where your ability to learn and adapt becomes so valuable. Imagine being able to talk about these challenges in your interview, maybe even suggest solutions.
That shows them you're not just looking for a job, you're thinking like a leader.
So here's a question for you, listener. What skills do you think will be most in demand for import-export managers in the next few years? 5 years, 10 years down the line?
That's a great question to think about. Maybe it's deep knowledge of sustainable forestry, or knowing how to deal with carbon tariffs.
Or even being really good with data analytics to optimize those global supply chains.
So many possibilities.
The point is, start developing those skills now. That's how you future-proof your career. Become someone any company would want to hire.
We've taken you on quite a journey today, haven't we? We tackled those tough interview questions, shared what we learned from RoleCatcher.
Even got you thinking about the future of the industry.
Remember, preparation is key. Know your stuff, show them what you can do, and let that passion for learning shine through.
And don't forget those AI tools RoleCatcher has. It can really give you an edge, help you stand out from the crowd.
So best of luck out there. We know you're going to do great.
Go get 'em.
And that's a wrap on another deep dive. We'll see you next time.